Hey guys, you're watching this one and only. My name is AJ. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Build a City. Now there's something that a lot of people have been asking me to build for a really long time. And it's high school. And I've always said, yep, I'll do it. Yep, high school, no problem. Yep. And it's gotten to the point where there actually isn't room to build a high school. All the plots that we've got left are about that sort of size. And that's not really big enough for a big sprawling high school that you imagine to have in a city. The high school I went to in real life, even though I'm in the UK, was actually quite large and sprawling. It was a big high school for what we have in the UK, nowhere near as big as some of the ones in the US. And the biggest space that I've got left that we can really do something, we could potentially do something with, is here. Now, the road where it goes uphill to go to onto the motorway here looks like it gets wider as you get higher up. It doesn't. It's like an optical illusion. This rectangle here, if I do that, is all the same size. So we can definitely build a high school in there. Now, what we can also do is do something similar that we've done with the factory, our most recent factory, and build underneath the road. And we can do like an L-shaped one, so it's nice and tallish here to be able to get underneath it. We can do some buildings out the back here if we want to do either attached or detached from it. We can maybe have a little car park or a field. I think I need a field, because that's the kind of things that really make a high school look like a high school. There's certain aspects to it that we need to think about. And a football field or soccer field or a basketball court, things like that, always to me make a high, if it's in the vicinity of a building, you think, it looks like a high school. We need to be really careful on how we use this space because we're very limited. So how do we build something that looks like a high school in not enough space to build a high school? Well, now you've got to think into what important details, physical details on a high school building makes it look like a high school. And with a high school, there's a few things that we can do. For example, there's always more than one door. I'm going traditional, basically American style high school. Okay, things that sort of flash into Simpsons, for example, the Simpsons school. If you take the Simpsons school, I know it's not a high school, but it's got the similarities of a high school. It has more than one door to get in. It has like 2 or 3 double doors, usually with like arches or pillars between them. It has usually, I'm going to say, 3 main parts to the major building. It has like a centerpiece, it has a right piece and a left piece. And for us, because of the room that we've got, we're going to make the left piece the longest, the middle piece the smallest, which is basically just an entrance and corridor with maybe lockers would be inside that part. And then the right part will be a sort of smallish, almost square size. What we can then do is build off the back here. Now we need, because of the space constraints, we do need to plan this out in our head first before we start placing down blocks. We'll have, I want to have a little building on this side and a little building on this side. And in the middle, what we called in our high school, the courtyard. And it was basically an area that didn't have a roof on it, although this has a bridge above it. It didn't have an actual roof as such on it. And you could sort of walk through it. It was classed as like an indoor area, even though you could see the sky. You can't see the sky there because of the bridge. But yeah, courtyard through the middle, usually with like a little tree in the middle that had benches down the side. It was quite nice. And that goes into a building, straight into a door, with maybe a building here, or maybe even a long building. We can build like around and through the bridge in like a horseshoe or a U shape. And then on this side, maybe we can put like a football field or like a little field here with like a little 5-a-side football pitch or something like that. And with whatever space we've got left over, we can do maybe a small car park, but I'm not really too bothered about a car park. Now what block, and that's instead of doing another housing estate here. I'd love to do another housing estate. I think this housing estate looks absolutely amazing. We haven't even done the little burnt down house yet as a little detail. But the garden looks totally amazing. I really like it. It really has that Sims estate feel. And we've got some more that we've got to do down there. And I can definitely squeeze some more houses down that area. You know, that's actually quite a large-ish area. We could probably do something near the size of that over there. But I think this is more important than houses. Now, bricks is going to be the major block in this. I can't even find it. Bricks. Now we will go into the stairs and the slabs and stuff at a later date to make it look pretty, but we want to get like a basic layout for it today. Also, another important feature to make it look even more high school, because we went through the doors and we went through the sort of positioning of the first building, but it's actually a staircase up to it. Again, it's on The Simpsons, so we know we're always heading in the right direction with what to do if we are making it look like I'm not going to call it a real school in The Simpsons, but it's a school that everybody sort of knows. So if we done like a little ramp up, it'll only be, I don't know, maybe even 2 or slabs or so. We could probably do something like this, in fact, and then have slabs. That's going to be brick on the end there, isn't it? No, hang on. It's going to be like a brick here, a brick there. Let's try and figure this part out. But I want it to be a little bit taller than this. It doesn't look quite enough steps. I want like another step up if possible. If I put that on there, how would the doors then go? It's not quite long enough or big enough yet, but would that work? I think I can make that work. Okay, so we would want a double door, and then a double door like that. And that's how I would want it to be on the entrance. Now this part then goes into the wider part. This is actually going to come out, I think, probably about to there or there. Maybe we can do a little hedgerow down the front, make it look pretty. We'll go to there then. And then on this side, I think I want to bring it out just by a couple of blocks, just so it goes a little bit wide, or maybe in between. So it's in between that one and that one, and not in line with the stairs. So we have this come out this way. Now, how close can we get to the pet store next to us? I think about there. Quite a cool place. Now, there's some pros and cons to the location of this high school. One pro is that we're next to a right next to the pet store. We're right near the fire station. We're right near the hospital. Very close to a housing estate. That's all good. Negative, though, is we back onto the gun shop. Like, the 2 plots of the high school and the gun shop are back to each other. Now, that's certainly not intentional, and it's certainly not ideal. Oh, this is too long to have flat all the way, so I'm going to drop this down a little bit here. But it is the only space that we've got left. We might be able to just... Ooh, I threw the brick. We might be able to just move the gun shop if we really get like annoyed of it being there. But it shouldn't really be too much of a problem. It's only a Minecraft gun shop, isn't it? Okay, this should be enough room for like a little line of car parking spots down there. It's actually a lot more space than I thought we had. It's actually going to be a really nice sized building, especially if we still go... Oh, I need to be careful here. Especially if we still are able to go in a U shape and go underneath it. That would be really nice. Okay, that's going to be clear enough there. So that's going to be the corner of that one. And then we come out here. We get to the spot where we widen up again. And we're going to widen up here because we can now. Try and squeeze as much room as we can out of this area. And then we get to the next little part. And I think with this one, I could probably bring out by one more. I could do like a little kick out. Like this. To the other side, down here. And then I'm going to have to bring it in. I can bring it in by 2. And have this one, like we said at the beginning, slightly smaller. Okay? That's not bad, you know. That's a lot bigger than I thought we would be able to get away with here. So once we've got that, let's then sort of figure out the courtyard area. So we need to work out how tall we would want this part of the building to be. Now, I think we can't go into this area. I think this part would be tall enough for a roof. So this has to be the back side of the wall. Underneath here, I don't know, we could do like a little, like we could light it up with some nice lampposts and have like a concrete play area or something like that. So let's come out to the other side of the road. Just put that in there for the minute. And then this area has to be the bit as wide as we want the building or the classrooms to be. Oh, I sort of like this. I'm going to go back out here. I'm going to design this as the courtyard here. And I'm going to try to design it as sort of after my courtyard that I had in my high school. So then that's another one there. So it's like a weird shape, and it sort of went back, and where it went back it had like little benches and stuff like that. Can't place blocks properly. Something like this. That's too thin. It's too thin. Like that. And then back out this way again. Okay, so this would be like not building. That's going to be a building, and then this one's going to be a building. So what we'll do here is I might be able to keep just the top of the platform. That would be quite nice to do. Now I'm going to keep this wall here dead straight for the moment, but we might put a little bit of oh no, I think I'll have to. I have to put like a little bulge out. It looks so boring otherwise if it's like flat all the way. Like that. So that's a classroom. This is a classroom or canteen or whatever we need it to be. And then this at the back here, at the end of the courtyard, has to go into another room. It's going to be a multiple parter for sure, isn't it? Now we've got the train line here. Now, I don't think the building is going to get up anywhere near that height. We'll try and keep it well below that. But just to make sure, we'll keep it out of the way of it anyway. I'll drop something down like that. Something down like that. Now, do we want it to go further? What can we possibly use this space for? We've got a road here. So we could do another lane coming out into a housing estate here. We're never going to go down that far anyway. That's a subway entrance that we still haven't done. You know, if I just filled up this area, just this last part. So we do something like... Is that out the way? It's pretty close. We do something like this. We just sort of extend this like that. I think that's a really interesting shape. Okay. So housing estate can come off here now. So we don't lose the houses that we were going to have. We're just moving them down here into a much more isolated place because we haven't got any main roads going to this area. So we're going to have to make our own smaller road to get here. So we might as well fill it with those houses. And at least this one has a lot more visible sky. Unlike that one over there. Well, it's only like 3 houses, isn't it? Two houses. I think it's only 2 houses in the dark. More houses there, more houses there. That'll really populate the city. That's one of the negatives of this city, I think, that we have at the moment, is that it doesn't feel populated enough. There's certainly nowhere near enough houses to populate a city like this, and having the big housing estates there will really help. So that looks like a really good blueprint to me of a high school. It's going to be tight under those, but those buildings can be shorter. They can only be like little 1-story ones. That can be maybe a 2-story one. Get them all at different heights, and I think we'll have something that looks pretty cool. So going back to the main portion of the building, which I think I'm going to use this as the actual corner of the main portion. We want this to be the tallest part of the entire school. Okay. And I want it to have a really grand looking front to it. So I want nice and tall, nice and accentuated. Which one do I like better? Which height? I think I like that height better. I think I just want to bring it down by there, which I think is down by 2 or 3. Okay, and bring that along there. Keep it in line with the one below. Whoops. Something like this. I'll just put these in here for the minute. Now, as far as detail blocks goes, we're going to be using quartz and those slabs in the building itself. Now, I saw a really cool image of one that used a bit of red clay. Minecraft build that uses red clay. And I sort of really like the look of that, so we might do something with that as well. Now, I don't know what this will be for. We can either put windows in there, or maybe we could do something. I don't think it's really enough room. We could spell out the high school going downwards, like high school near, or not high school, the university near me is called the UEA. So we could do, like, I don't know, the MEA for the Minecraft educational whatever, but I don't know. It's not a university, it's a high school. We've got a university-ish. We class the observatory over on the mountain there as the university as well, and that still needs expansion. That's nowhere near big enough as well, but we do have the room and mountains to expand into with that. We've already done one expansion, but I think we need to do another one at least. Okay, this one is going to be a slightly taller than that one. So if we do this one second, it'll be like a first, second, third sort of style deal. Go down one. Like this. Now, it might not look like we've done a lot this episode, but what you've got to remember is this requires planning. This kind of building isn't something you can just jump straight into. If you jump straight into it without thinking about it, you'll really regret it an hour or so, and you'll go, oh, I've got to move that wall. Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, I haven't got enough height for this part. Yeah, you'll really, really regret it. I think we can get 3 stories out of this. I reckon we could get like 3 sets of windows going up, which will really, really help. And then maybe 2 out of this one. One there and one there. We'll have this one lower. I reckon actually, you know what? We might have built a high school realistically big enough to hold the amount of students that we would have. I mean, in my high school, there was about 1,000 pupils. You know, for a UK one, it was relatively large. There was definitely larger, but it wasn't a small high school. Oh, and this one has to be higher. Hold on. And yeah, if we've got 2 stories here, we fit. I don't know. Let's go easy on ourselves, and we say 1 classroom 2, and on the second story 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We have none in the middle, let's say. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, probably 25 classrooms. You could easily fit in really good-sized classrooms as well for Minecraft. 25 classrooms times that by... Ooh. I have to bring that there. 25 classrooms times that by 30, let's say 30 students in a class. That's not maths that I can do while building. It's too complicated to do while building. What would it be? 225 times 3 is 75. 750? Would that be 25 times 30? 750? No, it can't be right. Hang on, I've got a calculator here. Is that right? Hold on. Phone? Load up, please. Calculator. 25 times 30. Yeah, 750. I was right. Wow. So 750 pupils we could school in here, and that's if we're using the biggest ever classrooms you could imagine. That's pretty good. I'll go with that for sure. Okay, so I'm just getting a little bit of a skeleton here ready for next episode. We're not going to be able to get much more building done, but like always in these multiple parts, the first episode always has to be planning. Always has to be planning. Okay, and then this one, and these will be lower. I love how much height difference that we have in these in this building. Having all sorts of parts just at slightly different heights is really, really cool. In fact, I might drop this end one down just a little bit. Because at the moment, this is all the same height, right? I'll leave that there. But if we made this part just come down a smidge. Oops. we get then another height variation. Like this. Alright, I'm going to have to leave it there, guys. Otherwise, we're going to have a colossally long episode. And we need to stop with those really, really long ones. We need to start being a little bit careful on video length. So, yeah. I think that's pretty good, right? Let's go to the front. Let's just sort of check out scale. They'll all have flat roofs because high schools always seem to have flat roofs on most parts. Maybe we can do a little bit of hipped roofs and gabled roofs. But we should be okay with this. And I think we can make that look very, very high school-y using blocks to give that away. Alright, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you haven't already, then feel free to subscribe. We shall see you in the next episode. Bye!